Thank you for joining us. My name is Ndekazi Lungu. The news headlines. Zambia's Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha SC has filed a public interest lawsuit in the Gauteng division of the High Court of South Africa, Pretoria, opposing the burial of late 6th Republican President Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu outside Zambia. Copperbelt Province Minister Elisha Matambo says compensation for farmers affected by the Sunup disaster, which contaminated both their fields and water sources, will be conducted in 3 phases. The Zambian government has reiterated that gender-based violence (GBV) remains a widespread human rights violation across the Southern African Development Community (SADC), with profound consequences for individuals, families, and entire communities. Stay tuned for the details coming shortly.
The news, 88.5 Sun FM.
And now the details. Zambia's Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha SC has filed a public interest lawsuit in the Gauteng division of the High Court of South Africa, Pretoria, opposing the burial of late 6th Republican President Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu outside Zambia. The lawsuit, directed against members of the late president's family and 2 other individuals, seeks an interim court order to halt any burial plans until all disputes surrounding his final resting place are resolved. Central to the case is the argument that Dr. Lungu should be interred in Zambia with full military honors, customs, and traditions in accordance with Zambian law and national interest. In his application, Mr. Kabesha maintains that the funeral of a former head of state is a state event governed by constitutional protocols and ceremonial procedures designed to reflect the significance of the office held. He further argues that even if claims that Dr. Lungu expressed a desire to forego a state funeral were true, which he disputes, personal wishes cannot override the broader public interest and legal frameworks. Citing precedent, the Attorney General referenced the case of Zambia's founding president, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, whose burial wishes were set aside to allow for interment at Embassy Park, the official burial site for former heads of state. Respondents named in the lawsuit include former First Lady Esther Nyawa Lungu, Bertha Lungu, Tassila Lungu, Chieso Lungu, Daliso Lungu, Charles Phiri, and Makevi Zulu. Also listed as a respondent is 2 Mountains Pty, the South African morgue currently holding Dr. Lungu's remains. The legal challenge is filed under Article 177(5)(c) of the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia, which empowers the Attorney General to act as the government's legal representative and protector of public interest. The hearing of the interim interdict application is scheduled for Wednesday, 25th June 2025 at 08 hours in the Pretoria High Court. Copperbelt Province Minister Elisha Matambo says compensation for farmers affected by the Sunup disaster, which contaminated both their fields and water sources, will be conducted in 3 phases. Speaking during a media briefing, Mr. Matambo explained that after consultations with all relevant line ministries, it has been decided may be unable to resume using their fields even after a year. He noted that in some cases, the land might not be viable for farming for up to 3 years.
They will be working, Sunup and Zema and other agencies will be working on normalizing the soil. So they said after 1 year, they'll be able to go and plant their crops again. So when we sat as ministers, Saka, 6 of us, it was discussed and agreed that 1 year is not enough. It's better to give farmers compensation for 3 years.
We take a break and return with more news right after this break. Stay with us.
Imagine having the financial freedom to live life on your terms. With With the ABSA Ultimate Plus account, you can manage your finances, save for the future, and access personal loans. Plus, enjoy travel insurance, a credit card, and retrenchment cover when the unexpected happens. If that's not value, I don't know what is. Let's help you write the next chapter of your ultimate story. Call 5950 to open an Ultimate Plus account today.
Your story matters. ABSA.
The Zambian government has reiterated that gender-based violence, GBV, remains a widespread human rights violation across the Southern African Development Community SADC, with profound consequences for individuals, families, and entire communities. Minister of Community Development and Social Services, Ms. Doreen Mwamba, noted that despite various interventions aimed at improving access to justice for women and girls, many across the region continue to face discrimination, violence, and systematic barriers, social, cultural, economic, and political, that hinder their ability to seek and obtain justice. Speaking during the official opening of the 2025 Southern Africa Heads of Prosecution SAHOP Forum Annual General Meeting themed Innovative Criminal Justice Practices, Strengthening Regional Collaboration to Combat Gender-Based Violence, Ms. Mwamba emphasized the need for stronger collaboration among SADC prosecutors to find lasting solutions to the escalating challenge of GBV. Ms. Mwamba highlighted Zambia's own strides in tackling the vice, pointing to robust advocacy initiatives that engage communities, traditional leaders, and religious institutions to dismantle harmful norms that perpetuate the subjugation of women. She also cited the establishment of fast-track courts for GBV cases and a raft of policy and legal reforms, including the revision of the National Gender Policy, amendments to the Marriage Act, and the enactment of the Children's Court Act as examples of action.
Gender-based violence remains a serious challenge in Southern Africa, accounting for at least 31% of girls married before the age of 18. It is for this reason that during the Southern Africa Heads of Prosecution Forum in Livingstone, Minister of Community Development and Social Services, Doreen Mwamba, said that despite the progress made in legal reforms in Zambia, women and girls still face discrimination and barriers when seeking justice. She highlighted efforts including fast-track GBV courts, legal reforms, and working with communities to change the harmful cultural norms.
Further, the government has also supported the establishment of a specialized gender-based crimes department at the National Prosecution Authority. These institutional arrangements are amplified by laws such as the Children's Court Act, which we enacted in 2022, the Marriage Amendment Act of 2024, which prohibits child marriage, a vice that not only affects Zambia, but the region as a whole.
Meanwhile, United Nations Resident Coordinator Beatrice Mutali praised the Zambian government's approach, stressing the need for innovation and regional cooperation to fight GBV.
But as a region, united by plenty challenges and a common commitments. We know the statistics, we know the suffering, we also know the progress is possible. The question before us today is not whether change is needed, it is how quickly and effectively we can deliver it.
And Director of Prosecution, Gilbert Piri, called for reforms to make the justice system more responsive to the needs of women and girls across the region.
For us to build safe and inclusive societies that will allow all our people to thrive. Our role does not end only in criminal justice, but also includes working collaboratively with key actors into the socio-economic and health of our women and girls. It is my hope that this very critical meeting will serve as a catalyst to develop innovative solutions in order to eradicate GBV and achieve gender equality.
The two-day meeting has brought together prosecutors from 14 SADC member countries to share ideas and strengthen collaboration against gender-based violence. Augustine Kapambwe, reporting for Sun TV News in Livingstone District, Southern Province.
Ends the news, and now the headlines once again. Zambia's Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha SC has filed a public interest lawsuit in the Gauteng Division of the High Court of South Africa, Pretoria, opposing the burial of late 6th Republican President Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu outside Zambia. Copperbelt Province Minister Elisha Matambo says compensation for farmers affected by the Sino Metals disaster, which contaminated both their fields and water sources, will be conducted in 3 phases. The Zambian government has reiterated that gender-based violence (GBV) remains a widespread human rights violation across the Southern African Development Community SADC, with profound consequences for individuals, families, and entire communities. Thank you for joining us. My name is Ndekazi Lungu. God bless.